watching. I'm watching. And here we are. And I'm going to start the music and you're going to dance with me. So here we go. Can you hear it?
So you wanna
So you want to be
a
a cool kid. We're streaming.
cool
Look at this dude dance. Whoa.
looking real
Oh, Bob. What a surprise. Here we go for the drum roll on the bridge.
So you wanna be
Here we go. Bang it out. Bop, 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 bop. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not a lonely girl anymore. I'm Bonnie D. I'm here on Cool Dude. This is my third one this week, and I'm so thrilled. My good friend, my colleague, he has been on my Technology Revolution show so many times, I have lost count. I think he's up
and
to
live to
20
talk about it.
and live to talk about it. There you go. It's Bob F. If those of you are looking for him on LinkedIn or anywhere else, his last name is Ficken, Ficken. But right now, he's only got a middle initial and he's proud to wear it. There you are. Bob, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine. Happy New. Can we still say Happy New Year? What is the date now? It's middle.
We're in double-digit January days now. It's the
I
10th. You
know.
can't do that anymore. You can only
I,
do it
we,
the 9th.
there you go. I like your hat. You always wear a hat on my shows. How'd you pick this one? Any
I
special
switched the
stories?
fedora for the French beret because it felt more like a cool dude.
Oh, I did a show with Rob T yesterday, and he was wearing what we call a cowboy hat, with the big brim.
Yeah.
And I had a wacky story article for him, Bob. Rob and Bob, that's interesting. And the story was that the cowboys actually wore bowler hats. They did not wear Stetsons with the brims. It's a fake myth that that's what they wore, and that was the article. Somebody did the research, and they actually wore the bowler hat. So I had pictures of that, and I thought that was interesting. Hey, I'm in Tennessee. I thought I moved to the south. I didn't say deep, just south. And it's snowing, and the snow is sticking. The roads are still clear, but it's sticking on the grass and the sidewalks, and it's coming down. Where are you, and do you have snow? Are you safe, by the way? I know you're on the West Coast. Tell me, are you safe?
I'm safe, but I'll
Good.
tell you, I took a job on the East Coast in Virginia,
Yeah.
and I'm a California kid, right? I'd never lived anywhere else. So I moved there. I got my California car, my shorts, my California vest that you wear with shorts. And it's my second day on the job and it started snowing. And I tried to get out of my townhouse that I'd rented for this job until I found something more permanent. And I can't even get out because the snow's blocking my door. So I'm hammering at it and pushing at it and all that for about an hour and a half to try to clear it enough that I can actually get out. Then my snow's covered. And thank God for neighbors because a neighbor of mine came over, felt sorry for me, and came over with a snow brush and all these things I didn't have because I'm from California, right,
Hmm.
where it doesn't snow. So I'm out there and he's out there and we cleaned the car off, right? And I think, well, that's enough excitement for today, right? I got to work, you know. So then I start heading down this 2-lane road to my office, and you never know when to expect these things, right? But there's an 18-wheeler gas truck coming the other way.
Oh no.
And I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just an accident. But just before it gets to this intersection where we're going to cross, it starts sliding and it goes completely sideways and it's coming right at my car.
Bob, what did you
And I
do?
and I'm real quickly going, oh please God.
At least.
and you know, and
And other physical reactions.
and make a long story short,
Oh, keep it going. Don't make
well,
it
it
short.
kept sliding and sliding, and I thought it for sure it was going to wipe me out, and I had nowhere to go because this side was a ditch, right, and the other side was a pond, and I'm going, oh man. So he finally stops, and I'm sure over the year it's gotten a little less. It's like the fish story in reverse. It was probably about a foot and a half, and then it got to be about a foot, and then it got to be about 6 inches from my bumper. But somehow it stopped sliding just before it hit me.
That's a wow.
And then I had to go home and change again.
That was the part you almost didn't mention that I knew you would. Oh, is that funny? Well, that must have been very scary. I'm from New York and I grew up with snow. So, for some reason, I like to go and shovel the sidewalk of the next door neighbors. They were slightly older than my family, the Laffertys, and they lived on the corner. We lived on the next corner. So it was just two houses at that edge of the block. We were at the corner facing Overbrook Street. So I would put on my snowsuit. I must have been 8 or 9 years old, and I'd get a shovel of my dad's garage, of our garage, and I go shovel their walk. I didn't want to be paid today. You know, you can't even afford to have people shovel. And I just love to shovel snow. I don't know why. I did a little bit at a time, and I'd clean their driveway and their front walk and the walk up to. And I think they came out and thanked me, or maybe they gave me a hot chocolate or something. It didn't matter. I just wanted to be in the snow. But then
Well,
when I
it's
moved,
cognitive relief, right?
I like that.
You don't have to think. You just shovel.
I, well, it's logistics basically. You
Yeah.
know, how much is it going to take, and do I go down to the sidewalk, and where do I put it, and how heavy is there's a lot of load specifics. But when I moved to Durham, North Carolina, soon after I got there, I've been in Tennessee 2 years and 3 months now. And when I moved to Durham in 2017, that winter, it snowed about 3 or 4 or 5 inches. And I went outside and I said, "Oh my God, I don't have a shovel. What am I going to do?" So I took a broom and I spent an hour and a half at 4:30 in the afternoon in 25-degree weather sweeping the driveway and the sidewalk. I wanted it to be safe. You know, in New York, you have a time limit on when you have to, if you're a landlord or homeowner, you have to have your sidewalk cleared. Well, I didn't know that by the morning the sun will come out tomorrow, and everything was gone. Everything was gone. So it was an interesting experience. So here, one of my neighbors sent a note, a text note to everybody on the block. If you need any help, let me know. They've already decided that the roads might be closed. It's supposed to be a winter storm. It's just a pretty snow right now. They've canceled all the meetings of the HOA, of the POA at the clubhouse. They've canceled dinner in all of the restaurants here. They've canceled the live music at the yacht club tonight. And so I'm just laughing because I know what real snow is. And so far, this isn't real snow.
What are these
Uh,
people getting all excited about?
I don't know. Well, when I lived in Eugene, Oregon, talking about around the country, Bob, it snowed one day about a half an inch. The entire city shut down.
And people freaked. Yeah.
The entire city shut down. They didn't know what to do with it. It's the first time I think in every 7 years it'll snow this much. So I'm enjoying looking out, and I got plenty of hot chocolate and marshmallows here. And so listen, I want to before we get to your cool dude songs, and I want to officially welcome you, Bob F. You are officially a Bonnie D's cool dude. How do you feel about that? You up for that?
Well, I felt so I was so excited about it till I found out I was one of your stable of about 15 or something. And it took on a little less meaning at that.
No, no, no. It's an elite club. It is an elite club. You're all handpicked. You're personally invited. It's not a group. Hey, who wants to do this? I've got these openings, like for my technology show. This is your handpicked, and I'm so excited that so many people have accepted. And I just throw out the dates, and it's whoever schedules what date. So you could have been the one. You could have been last week. You could have been next week, but you're today. So I'm very, very happy to have you here. So,
Now,
hmm?
now.
Now, right now. So here we are. So I like to read. I like to read. I've done I don't call them rhyme. I don't call them bio poems anymore, Bob, because I got in trouble with that. I was attacked for using, Sylvia Speed as my friend, my
But you're the purveyor of poems.
I am, but Sylvia Speed is my assistant, my virtual assistant. She lets me call, and we speak in French. We write in French. I'll say merci, c'est
Huh?
magnifique, and she'll write bisous, bisous. Je suis ici pour vous aider. And we have because I watch a lot of French detective and thriller shows, so my French is back. So I write her in French, and she writes me back. So we have these little conversations, and it's nice. But the poetry is in English. So here we go. This is long. You sitting down?
I
This
am.
this may be longer than your entire life. So this is to honor you. Here we go.
And adults on average can only focus for 45 minutes. Is it longer than that?
No, it's not longer than that, but it's longer than 45 lines.
Okay.
Here we go. You know us well, Bonnie D and Bob F2, seasoned in life, and we love what we do. From LinkedIn's halls in social's embrace, we love sharing insights in our savvy people space. Now here on We Dish, we're here to play, lightening up life in our uniquely fresh way. Welcoming Bob F., a cool dude on a lifelong quest. Here's my rhyming intro, then he'll tell us the rest. The title is The Story of Bob F., A Lifetime of Roles Vast. When Bonnie D speaks with Bob, the time goes fast. Here we go. Bob F., a Californian through and through. Second gen native where Golden State skies are blue. His first plane ride, just 3 years old, to Bermuda's beauty, a memory to behold. In Newark, California, his childhood took shape with sisters and Jerry's sweet orchard escapes. From Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, Troop 379, and a paper route started at age 11's prime. At 14, the flames brought a frightful plight. He jumped from the window into the night. The family was safe, though the house had to mend, and history's moments shaped Bob to great end. Through Vietnam protests and Apollo's great leap, Bob witnessed the world in its moments quite deep. Then let's get to what you did in life. From retail beginnings at Long's drugstore to deputy sheriff at 21, he opened a new door, patrolling streets, solving crimes with grit, tasked with ensuring justice. Bob never quit. On April 1, 1978, he swore to uphold the law. Jailhouse security was his post. Challenges he saw. They housed William and Emily Harris, SLA's notorious pair. In the thick of history, Bob was firsthand aware. A Berkeley County's marshal, new reality would unfold. Shira the Mad Bomber struck the P&G building bold. Livermore called in 81, and police officer Bob replied. Through 5 years on patrol, his skills he applied. Promotion to detective brought cases cold and dire, murders to solve. His commitment wouldn't tire. Alas, Bob returned to school with a scholar's drive, balancing badge with books. A new career did arrive. Earning a bachelor's, a master's, plus a PhD, he learned human and organizational development from A to Z. In 89, Drug Barn sought Bob's HR skill, where he led HR with expertise to fit the bill. By 95 at Century Theaters, Bob rose, guiding teams as the HR leader that they chose. DBC Broadcasting called in 98, where his leadership soared to innovate. That same year, as a professor, Bob began teaching AI ethics and leadership's plan. Entrepreneurship, too, Bob passionately taught, inspiring minds with the knowledge he brought. His career reflects his dedication and heart, a true leader in every role where he took part. He's traveled the globe from France to Peru, a lifetime of stories, adventures anew. As CHRO and AI guide at AskHR.com, Bob's wisdom and passion are steadfast with aplomb. Now a grandfather to a little one with glee, Bob's life still a journey, a heartfelt spree. With tales to inspire, he stands or sits as proof that life's richest lessons are under the family's roof. A pioneer, a leader with passion so true, Bob F's journey will surely inspire you. From California to tech, his talents align. On We Dish today, his stories truly shine. What'd you think?
You brought a tear to my eye, Bonnie. That was wonderful.
Which eye? I'm sorry. I'm glad. I'm going to finish the introduction now. We're here on We Dish, chatting on life's score, culture, music, food, and oh so much more. Join us live or on demand, day or night. We won't be here at night, but you can find us. Enjoy our dishing with shared delight. Meet us for real in our live streaming glow. Bob, make the glow. There's the glow. Your comments are welcome. Just play nice. We know who you are, you know. We Dish, too, Saucy Damon, cool dude, too, Bonnie D. and Bob F. Dishing on life's fun. Pour vous. That's for you in French. So there you go. I'm glad you liked it, Bob. What'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was incredible. You're very gifted.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Sylvia helps me. Now, in case anybody doesn't know who I am, I have a 33-word bio to describe me. That's all I am. Live radio, and I hate the word podcast because I don't pre-record, but
You do
live
it in
radio.
rap?
I wish I could. Next time you're on for part 2. Live radio and podcast creator, producer, host, storyteller, playwright, artist, drummer, poet, creator of the 3-minute roundtable, soundbite, thought leadership, early woman in tech, former stand-up, just trying to be funny now. And I have an addendum to my bio, Bob. I hope this doesn't make you sad. But Marquise Who in America told me I didn't qualify, but they offered me to reapply as a marquee emerging leader. So I'm still emerging at my stage of career after 57 radio shows and years in tech. I could be an emerging leader, but that remains to be seen.
Well, you
So
are an emerging leader. It's just whether they recognize you are for it or
this
not.
is true. I don't think I want to be in the Marquise book. Are you in it? Who's Who in America?
I couldn't care less.
Okay, they sent me do you want to apply on LinkedIn? And I did. And then they took about 3 months that's how fast they are. So we'll leave that one alone. So, Bob, I'm delighted you're here. And I want to start off with, well, we've already started. Oh, the snow is really coming down. I want to start with cool dude songs. What defines you, describes you, enhances you, makes you feel cool? What are your song picks? Go ahead.
Does it matter if I sing the lyrics wrong?
I would love it. Go ahead. As long as it does, it's not going to get us into licensing trouble. Go ahead.
Oh, my first one is "Take It Easy" by the Eagles.
Oh,
It sounds
take it easy to
There's
the.
something about that song that just I love, and I worked so hard to increase my level of emotional intelligence, and say goodbye to things that you can't change and all that kind of stuff. And every once in a while, when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed and I need to get back to doesn't matter, I play that song, sing along with it, and then I'm good.
Take it easy. I'm
Going down
killing
the
it.
road, this is my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that want to know me, 2 that want to stone me. One says she's a friend of mine.
Just sing it. Just you made my day, kiddo. You called me kiddo before. You made my day. Bob singing on my show. This is a landmark. This is a game changer.
Well, never to happen again.
Oh, I think it will. What's your second song? Go ahead.
My second song is Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. That's
Born.
the song that fires me up when I'm going for a ride on the Harley.
Oh, you didn't put
As
that in your bio
it
that you're,
has taken me all over the country. I've ridden coast to coast and up and down, and
I need to put a
I've got
paragraph into your,
373,000 motorcycle miles under my belt.
Bob, I needed that in your bio, in your introduction. You didn't put the Harley in that
Oh,
5,000
but
word
then is it
bio.
Professor Bob? Is it Biker Bob? Is it, I mean,
Police Detective Bob, it's Marshal Bob, it's CHRO Bob. If I had to print up, does anybody still print up business cards? There would be so many letters in front of and after your name, we would run out of card space. We could just put it with little balloons, just Bob F, and then put little balloons with all of your titles around it. Should I make up a card for you?
well, they made a movie about me. What about Bob?
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, Richard Dreyfuss starred in it, but,
You're,
what
well,
about Bob?
of course, you picked him and you approved it. Your sense of humor is wicked. I don't think a lot of people realized you were in law enforcement before you got into HR. Is that something you talk about all the time, or is this breaking news?
No, it's not something I talk about all the time but what happened for me was from the time I was about 5 years old, I wanted to be one of the good guys. And part of it was because my dad was in law enforcement. He was in the Alameda County Sheriff's Department for many years, and then later became a inspector for the Alameda County District Attorney's Office until he retired after 29 years. And so I really thought about wearing a white hat, being one of the good guys, saving people, trying to make the community safer and all that. So I followed through with that. And I never really changed goals from the time I was 5 till I was 21. I worked in retail and a couple other jobs, but that's when I went to the sheriff's department. And it was kind of ironic, though, that I got sworn in on April Fool's Day.
What was it exciting? Was your life dangerous? You told me you worked on murder cases as a detective. May I ask a little bit about the thrill? You stayed in law enforcement for many, many years, Bob. What was it? Was it what you expected? Was it what you wanted?
It was what I expected, but what I didn't expect, well, a couple of things. One, I spent 1 year with the hair growing down to the middle of my back, which is hard to imagine that I'm almost bald now. But I was younger, so I had hair down to the middle of my back, and the county issued me a county issue chopper, and I worked dope for a year, going to all the flea markets and buying methamphetamine hand to hand and all that. Made like 214 arrests in the course of a year. But what I found out was that in most cases, people I arrested for drugs were out of jail and back doing it before I even finished the paperwork.
Mm,
And if you arrest a dealer, there's 10 people waiting for that corner tomorrow.
mm-hmm. This was pre-fentanyl, I assume. Pre
Oh
what
yeah,
we're
fentanyl wasn't around yet. What was big
yeah.
back then was methamphetamine. because they had
And
figured out you only needed three chemicals to make it.
and did you work on any murder cases? I think I saw that in
I
your bio
did.
too. Can I ask without getting too gory?
Well, let me tell you quickly. Well, not
Yeah,
quickly.
we
I'll
have
tell you
time.
about my
Take your
family
time.
history.
Yeah,
My
please.
father worked the Edwin Kemper case involving the killing of the seven nurses at UC Berkeley.
Mm, mm,
He was
mm,
heavily involved in that. I touched a little bit on the Chowchilla kidnapping because it was right next door in Pleasanton and they needed my canine that I had at the time. And then I met Bill and Emily Harris when they were housed in our jail and all that. And then we had a murder case in town. I won't name the person or anything, but it was kind of interesting how we solved it. We didn't have a lot of evidence to work with, but what happened is we found a glassine envelope that previously contained drugs on the floor in one of the rooms, and we recognized that particular envelope as belonging to a specific dealer.
mm, 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 mm,
So we went and talked to that dealer, and then it all unfolded. He that that this husband had paid the dealer to break in and stage this burglary so it looked like someone else killed, right, his
hmm.
his significant other. So, but it took a lot of work. It was about a year and a half, maybe. It's funny. Real police work isn't like television. Not
Mm,
everything's solved in 30 minutes or 60 minutes.
hmm.
You know, they never show the, okay, talk to this neighbor, this neighbor, this neighbor, this neighbor, and get nothing,
Yep.
nothing, nothing, But hey, it's all part of police work. It's not glamorous, but you feel good when you get it done.
Bob, have you ever thought of writing screenplays or scripts for TV? You've been there and done that. Have you ever thought of writing for a procedural?
Well, I thought about it, but
Yeah.
with all due credit to my colleague, Dr. Melanie Peacock, she released a book a few months ago called HR Can Be Murder. It's a really nice story. She weaved it in there very, very well. And I bought it and read it and thought it was pretty interesting. So she kind of beat me to it. So I don't know if there's movie or a book in my head or not.
I
I've thought
bet
about it
there
a couple
is.
times,
I
but
bet there is. I'm going to call your attention to. I watch a lot of French detective shows, and because I used to speak fairly fluent French, and I enjoy. And you can't be sitting there doing a crossword puzzle or doing something else. You have to watch to see what the subtitles are. And I enjoy hearing the language spoken and hearing idioms that I used to know very well. There's a show called Astrid. Astrid. It's in French. She is an extremely high functioning, shall we say, neuro diverse. She's autistic, high up on the spectrum, and she has a job in the archives of one of the Paris police departments. And she has control over storage of data it's vast. And she has a private room that they created for her where she lays out all of the background of a particular case that's coming. I mean, she works with the police, obviously. And there's a woman named Raphael who is one of the police captains that she's her so-called partner. Astrid is Sarah Mortensen, Sara, is a phenomenal French actress. I've seen her in many other shows. She's very popular, but she has these quirks of the Astrid character, where Astrid will go down aisles and aisles and aisles and rows looking for something, and she'll do this with her finger. And her brain is organizing the information. She does this. So Astrid has this room where you have to take off your shoes if she even allows you in it. It's a huge room with nothing in it, no furniture, no chairs, tables, nothing. And on the floor, she lays out all of the background of the case. She can bring in stories and cases from years ago that related to this, and she will organize things in the most interesting way. And she will look at a crime scene, Bob, and she will say something like, "That light wasn't on in the picture that the ME took when they found the body," or "This wasn't there," or she knows medical terminology that beats the Emmy is always saying thank you, Astrid, because she sees things that nobody else sees. Her brain. So if you watch it, I think you will appreciate it because, as you say, the level of detail involved in solving a crime like that. And these are murders. They're not terribly gory, and they've got a little woo-woo this season, but I've watched every season. Astrid, Astrid. I'm sharing that with you if you can dare to watch a French show. Anyway, I just think you have enough lore in you and law in you to be a wonderful script writer. I would watch I won't produce your show, but I would watch it. Now, what attracted you after years in law enforcement to HR? That seems to me so unlikely. What got you?
Wow, I took this red pill. No,
Talk about neurodivergent. What
no.
was it, a movie? Was something? Oh, I think I'll leave detective work and crime solving and I'll go run HR for people.
Well,
What?
my last job at the police department was recruiting and training police officers, which kind of exposed me to the world of HR.
There you go. That's the thread I didn't get. Keep
Yeah.
talking. Go ahead.
And so then I went back to school and started working on my degrees and all that. And I saw HR as a way to help people the same way that law enforcement helps people. Different kind of help, but help people reach their goals, help people find balance, all those kinds of things. So in fact, that's been the common thread throughout my life and all the different things I've done. I
Mhm.
teach to help people, I was in law enforcement to help people, I was in HR to help people, Rotary to help people, you name it.
There you go. Very,
So
very interesting. I just found them. I read the bio obviously in the rhyming bio version, but it just seemed like such a stretch. I have a radio show on Mondays called Read My Lips: Cool Conversations with Creatives. And interesting, years ago I had a gentleman on who was an author of a what was it? A crime series, and he had been an HR executive for years, and he was fascinated by crime. And he left his job and became a top best-selling author of crime series from his HR background. I don't think anybody was killing each other in those companies. I thought that was very, very interesting. So I look for the creativity in people. I could even invite you on that show if you'd like. It's a panel about
well,
creativity.
my feelings are kind of hurt. You never invited me before, Bonnie.
Well, there's always, I only have 120 guests a year on 3 or 4 person panels, but I'd be happy to. I meet them a certain way, a different way I meet them. I'll happy to put you on the guest list. But my point is that I'm intrigued by the people who are writing and the sci-fi authors. I meet a lot of sci-fi authors through Creative Edge PR in Canada. Mickey Mickelson sends me authors, and they have jobs and professions in real world, and their imaginations just go and go and go, and they write sci-fi and they write thrillers and they write dystopian, utopian, just fascinating. You might have met a couple of them on some of my crystal ball special shows. I think there was some in the shows you've been on. Well, do you have any more songs for us, Bob?
Well, that's pretty interesting because
Yeah, go ahead.
when I just thought when you think about it,
Yeah.
and people are just so interesting. Like I have this cigar group that I meet with on Thursdays,
Yeah.
and we meet in this cigar parlor not too far from where I live. And we just kind of about 10, 12 of us, we gather and we kind of shoot the breeze and enjoy a few cigars and whatever. And we have a good time and kind of laughing at it. But the things you find out, like this one gentleman is a medical industry hardware engineer, fixes MRIs, CT scanners, and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and is a port maker. He makes port. He just switched from 5-gallon drums to 50-gallon drums. It's his first foray into the big game.
Port as in the good stuff that you
Yeah.
sip.
You
Port.
age it,
Okay.
port, yeah, various port glasses, special thing, yeah.
Could you get him for me for Cool Dude? Would you refer him to me? I'd love to have
I
him on.
I could probably do that.
Yeah, that's
His
fine.
his name is Jeff, and he's a real good guy, very bright. And as opposed to the engineering type, he's actually more kind of creative, poetic,
See,
you know.
this is why I created the Saucy Damon Cool Dude show, and I'm enjoy. I asked one of my guests earlier this week, how come more men are interested in being on the show than women? And he said, "'Cause dudes love to talk about themselves." I thought that was really cool. I'm learning a lot about you. I've known you for several years on my Technology Revolution show, and these are things that never really come out in that format. And that's why I'm intrigued. That's why for this show, I asked you and my other guests for your origin story bio. And it's not word limits, and it's not third person, and it's not formal, and it's not a CV. I say just bullets, just throw
Well,
it
then
on a page.
why do you have us sign that release?
Maybe now I should. Maybe I should sign the release. I don't know. But my point is that I'm finally I don't like to do, I don't call this an interview. I don't call this a Q&A. It's not scripted. We're just shooting the breeze. Well, you might have been shooting criminals, but we're shooting the breeze. That's as far as I got. But my point is that I like hearing, we all have stories. We all have so much we've done at a certain point in life. And I think that's part of relating to people and creating business relationships is understanding who people are and what makes them. And my metaphor for life, Bob, I haven't talked about this in a long time, is a patchwork quilt. Your quilt has squares that represent everything that you've told me now and what was in the rhyming bio I presented for you. Mine is different. Everybody's is different. And we're always adding every day, every month, every year, we're adding new patches, new squares or circles to that quilt. And I love that metaphor. What do you think?
I love it. I like the idea of patchwork quilt. It reminded me of something. Let me
Yes.
see. I
Uh-oh.
get it back now. Brain freeze.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you
Well,
when.
keep going.
Okay,
It'll
go
come
ahead.
back to me.
All right, it'll come back. I'll tell you a story. After my dad passed away in I'm sorry, in 1995, my dad was a doctor. He was a radiologist back in the radiology days, just before it got really high tech. And he had a private office in Jamaica, Queens, and dad loved to wear ties, colorful ties. And he had a whole collection of ties. We're talking not just a blue and a purple and a gray one. We're talking patterns and colors and everything. And my daughter-in-law went to a an auction at somebody's private school. I don't know where my son and she were living at the time. And one of the things that she bid on was a woman who made quilts from ties. And my mom collected a bunch of my dad's ties, dozens and dozens. There were
Wow.
that many, Bob. There was a closet full of ties. Dad just loved ties.
I
And
can relate.
and she gave the ties to this woman who made three quilts, one for me, one for my mother, and one for my sister.
Wow.
They ended up a little fragile over the years, but she backed them. These weren't big, fluffy, heavy, bed size. These were coverlet at the bottom of the bed size. And
Okay.
with black fabric with like little white clouds in it and an edging on it and a little bit of padding inside. And the ties were sewn together in patterns. And it was, talk about a
That's
patchwork
fabulous.
quilt. Yeah, those were
I do a
amazing.
similar thing, but for me, it's colorful socks
Okay.
because I can wear the most boring looking business suit. I can wear like purple and yellow and green socks, and hardly anybody can see them.
We didn't know. How would I know that? We never show feet on my shows. Now we
I
have to show
know.
feet. My goodness. Now, so you're going to have to wash the socks first and we'll find somebody to make them into a quilt.
It
Any
take
other
a lot
song?
more socks than ties.
Well, if you cut them this way, you can stretch them out. And,
So I was going to tell you about my student success.
yes, please.
So, I've been teaching for almost 28 years now, and what I started doing in every class is I ask students for one day, and this is kind of how it works. As you know, Bonnie, our subconscious minds are so powerful at telling us no to every great idea we have. You don't have the experience, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources, you don't have the knowledge. It's really good at talking back to us so that we never pursue that good idea, right? So what I tell students is, look, what I want you to do is pick one day a year. You pick it, don't care when it is, but on that one day, you can only say yes to your dreams. And you have to identify the first three steps to move you in that direction. And you have to take step one that day. I can tell you today that 786 new businesses have been created.
Bob, did you patent this? Did you create this method? Did you get it from somewhere? Where'd it come from?
No, it just was something I thought long and hard about. And we know that the US economy is 80% small business.
Yeah, and
Most
growing.
adults dream of owning their own business.
Sure, and growing. Yes.
So it really becomes a matter of just saying no to your subconscious mind and saying yes to your dream.
I love it. My problem is I always say yes.
Well, I wasn't going to share that with the audience, Bonnie, but
How, how, how do you think I have 57 radio shows since 2011? I always say, yeah, people say, I want to do a show with you. Sure, let's get started. So I haven't said no, but it's an adventure. It's been an adventure, Bob.
well, my great grandparents, I told you, lived in Jackson.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more.
I remember sitting on their lawn. They had a rolling, almost like a rolling hill front lawn, which you've probably seen because you're back there. But I was about 5 years old, and I remember playing on their front lawn and using mason jars with holes in the lids to catch fireflies.
Mm-hmm.
And the big trucks would roll down the road, and we'd do all this stuff, and get such a kick out of when the trucker blew the horn and all that kind of stuff. But I remember being back there and having a really good time. A lot of
Very,
nice people.
very
Well, then
cool.
there's you, but
We should have put fireflies and Jackson into your bio. We missed a lot. It was only about 100 lines long, Bob. And obviously you left out the Harley and you left out the grandparents' porch and all that. I don't. Next time we'll add those paragraphs. Any more songs, Bob? And I'm going to give you my songs in a second. But any more songs for you for Cool Dude?
well, the one I use as my ringtone. See if you can help me remember the name. I used it on one of my shows.
Okay.
Natasha Benningfield.
Yeah.
You don't remember either, huh?
I don't. I don't.
Yeah, we're getting old.
No, we're not. We just have too much packed into our mental computers to call it up right away. I don't think we can hear it.
Well, I'm not going to play it. I'm just
Oh,
trying to.
okay. Gonna hum a few bars? You want me to pull up a list of Natasha Bedingfield songs?
Sure.
All right, let me do that. Natasha Bedingfield, any particular theme you're looking for that
It was in the movie Just About Us.
Natasha Bedingfield song in the movie? What is it, Just About Us?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Unwritten.
Unwritten. Yep.
Anybody But You. The song is a key part of the movie with multiple characters singing and dancing. Is that it? 2004?
Yeah. That's my
Okay.
ringtone.
Unwritten. Okay. Well, I'll have to go find it. Thank you very much. Interesting. And what about it is
What
that,
I like about it is it doesn't matter what age you are, what your background is, what your socio status is, the page is unwritten.
yep. Oh,
You're
yeah,
still
you did talk
here.
about that. I remember you did
You
you
still
did talk.
have the
Yes.
time and the ability to
Yes.
create your own story.
There you go. There you go. Yep. I was going to call this new show, my spin-off show, something like Tech Stars or something like that. And one day I was just saying, Saucy Dame, why not? And I invited, Sherry Myers, Sherry Ann Meyer to come on. And then Karen Gibson, you might have been on one of my specials with her. And then who was my other one? Mary Nunley. You know Mary, the AI artist and the dragon,
Yes.
the lavender dragon. And we started talking. And one day I said to myself, I'm only doing this one-on-one with women. I've done 35 or 40 episodes with the three of them. 35 episodes. And I invited other women I met on my other shows, and it was fun, but I kept going back to Mary and Karen and to Sherry. And one day I said to myself, I'm missing a component here, but what would I call the spinoff for men? And I thought, well, saucy dame, okay. I can't say saucy guy, saucy boy. I don't want to be rude or patronizing.
Bad
So I
boy.
bad boy. Well, not everybody wants to be called a bad boy, Bob. Maybe you do. And I thought, what can I do to honor the people who are
Then you got a whole
young
song.
enough and old enough? And then I thought, dude, well, what am I going to call the dudes? And so I went and I did. I think Sherry and I went and did a chat GPT search on synonyms for dude and for guy and for buddy and all of that. And I came up with the idea of cool dude. And I floated it with a couple people. Martin Stanzig was the first. He's done 2 shows with me. And I thought, I think this is good. And I started inviting people and it's just taken off. So there you are. So you weren't the first, but you're still just as important. I have some songs for you. Would you like to know my Saucy Dame songs?
I would love to know.
Okay, I picked a set of Donna Summer songs because I was a disco
Queen of
queen,
Disco.
disco queen, if you will, when I was in Eugene, Oregon, teaching and doing exhibition dancing with my dance partner Michael. We did contests. We had our own classes. We took our classes to discos where DJs danced with it. We did line dances. We taught hustle. We taught cha-cha and salsa and swing, Lindy. Okay, so I did a collection of Donna Summer songs. She works hard for the money. Okay.
Mhm.
Hot stuff, da, da, da. On the radio. I mean, is she talking about me or what, Bob? No more tears. Enough is enough. I've done my share of crying. Last dance. Well, I don't dance anymore right now, and I feel love. I didn't realize it, but when I went and looked for her discography, that really is a summary I think of me as a saucy dame. I also have Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Cindy Lauper and Groovin' by the Young Rascals. I have Leslie Gore's anthem, You Don't Own Me from 1963, like, get off my case, I'm going to do this. Helen Reddy, I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. We all know that one. Janis Joplin, Me and Bobby McGee, 1971. I love it because you know the line, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton, 9 to 5. Now I work a lot longer than 9 to 5. Hit me with your best shot when people are saying no
Pat
and you
Benatar.
can't. Hit me with your best shot. Benatar, Stronger by Britney Spears and others. Respect by Aretha Franklin. I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. And New Attitude by Patti LaBelle. I'm getting your juices going. Then some dancing songs. Dancing Queen by ABBA, because I was a disco queen, if you will, or a
Bravo.
princess.
Ah.
I'm sorry. You don't like ABBA. Happy Dance by Mercy Me. If you don't know the band, find it. It's a Christian rock band, but it's not a religious song. It's not how you move, it's what moves you, and I like that. I Feel Better When I'm Dancing by Megan Trainor, and the line is show the world what you can do. Prove to them you've got the moves. I don't know about you, but I feel better when I'm dancing. Yeah, yeah. And I play that in my kitchen sometimes and dance. I've had the time of my life, not done yet. Bill Medley, Dirty Dancing, and a new song I discovered
Love
is
Phil Medley.
I know by Janelle Monáe. It's Q period U period E period and Queen. And the line I like is she who writes the movie owns the script and the sequel. What do you think of that?
That's deep.
Is that deep? That's really, yeah, I know. That's really
I
deep.
need to get a shovel.
I know, well, it's snowing enough that you might need one. The road is just starting to be covered, and I have enough groceries. I'm not going, okay, let's move this along. Well, I'm not in a hurry. Okay, your creativity superpower. I think we've already talked about it, but you want to define it, what you love and what you don't love about it, Bob. What do you think?
My creative superpower.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I have the ability to essentially see inside people's minds.
Ooh.
I can read their body language, listen to
Mm-hmm.
their tonality, the words they're saying, and often I can tell whether or not they're telling the truth or they're fibbing.
You think that comes from
Because
your
I received
detective?
500 hours of investigative training when I was at the
I
police.
was going to say, does that come from your detective work? Very interesting. My mom, Ruth, with whom I co-hosted a TV show called Senior Moments, The Happy Ones on Long Island. We did 259 episodes from the time she was 83 till the time she was 100. And
Blacker.
Ruth, I know. I had three other shows at the same time. Ruth could see almost through people right away when she met them. She knew who was the BS artist. She knew who was real and authentic. She didn't take crap from anybody. She was nice. She was very interesting. She walked in the room, everybody knew she was there, but force of nature. But she had, without any training, she just knew a way to know the word is authentic. I call it real deal. So very interesting. So does your
I
creativity
call it
superpower?
bullshit detector.
There you go. Does it get you in any trouble? Is there a downside to that?
No, I mean, the fact is, if someone comes up to talk to me and they want to argue a point with me, I don't argue anymore. If they want to tell me two and two is five, I say, you're right. Thank you. Bye. I mean, what's the point? That's not a good use of my time. Time is the one commodity we can't get more of.
You know what? That's an interesting approach. Somebody has a Facebook reel or a story on 5 ways to deal with people who are deriding you or trying to downgrade you or downplay you and saying mean things to your face. And usually it's thank you, I hear you, and then you can. But I know somebody who tried that recently when somebody was verbally attacking them, somebody they knew very well, and the answer when they said thank you, I hear you, that's interesting, and the person looked at them and they basically gave them the middle finger and said those 2 letters of A, B, C, D, E, F, sixth letter of the alphabet with a letter U after it, and that ended that relationship. And it was a family relationship. So it's some people don't like to have that response, but yeah, just
If they held up the middle bird to me, I'd say, clearly you don't know sign language.
there was a song years ago called "Just Walk Away, Jose." I think that's just walk away is what you're saying. Interesting. My creativity superpower, I think, is just being able to talk to people and get them comfortable, like you and I, and getting people to trust me. You and all the dudes, you trust me to honor you and to celebrate you and to help you just talk about who you are
Well, the
And
rest of it's true, but I never said that I trust you.
but you're here. So there you go. There you go. You know what? You have a wicked sense of humor. I don't think that comes out on my shows, my other shows on technology show.
Well, I've usually got three other guests or so with me.
I
You know,
know, but
can't
we're gonna have to
monopolize.
do it. We're gonna have to do a topic this year on the future of humor and AI, and we'll figure something out. Let it write some jokes. Okay, next topic: New Year's resolutions. Yay or nay? If yes, how long does it stick? If no, me
If
too.
it's a real goal, it's not a New Year's resolution.
Me too. And I don't believe in bucket lists because I say to people, what are you waiting for? If you want to do it now because you don't know when that bucket's
No,
gonna
I mean, you figure
fall.
out at some point as you age, you figure out that life is not about collecting things. It's about collecting experiences.
There you go.
So this year I did my music tour in 2024.
Yeah.
Went and I saw Santana and Counting Crows at the Mountain View Amphitheater.
Oh, Santana. Yes.
Then I flew into Vegas and watched the Eagles play at the Sphere.
Yes.
I
Wow,
saw,
you went to the Sphere.
oh, the
Yes,
Sphere is incredible.
my kids went to the Sphere. They heard who was it? U2 was who
Yeah,
opened the
they did a
Sphere
show there
the
too.
second day. My son, my daughter, one of my granddaughters, and I think my daughter-in-law went to the Sphere and were on the second night of U2 opening the Sphere.
It is an incredible venue if you ever get a chance to go. It doesn't matter what you see, just go for the
It
experience.
would give me agita having all that stuff swirling around, but it looks fascinating.
Oh,
So what else was on your music tour?
160,000 speakers are built
I
into
know,
it.
I know, it's amazing,
Incredible.
Un
And
unbelievable.
then about 3 weeks after that, I went to the Bob Hope Theater in Stockton and I watched ZZ Top.
With the beard, with the
Yeah, the
beard.
Gibbons Boys.
Yeah, interesting,
So I did my
interesting.
music thing. So now it's back to travel. So I've got my Alaskan Denali National Park set up for May.
You're
It's
something.
all about experiences.
You're a world wonder, and all I do is sit and talk to interesting people on my shows. And this is my world tour is getting to know the people that I don't know that well who've been on my shows for years.
You
That's
know, I have a similar approach. I call it the Will Rogers of getting to know people. It's quite simply this: everyone in the world knows something I don't know.
you need to write a book of Bobisms. Seriously,
You
people have
know,
done that. Self-publish a book of Bobisms.
to the extent that I can get them to open up in conversation and learn it, I
Yeah,
become more knowledgeable. I understand them better.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're definitely a cool dude. We're gonna have to put two cools in front. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Cool dude. All right. I don't do resolutions because I don't last, and I'm still trying to get myself interested again in finishing my novel, which has
New
been
Year's
sitting on the
resolutions are a way to sell gym equipment
there you go. And memberships.
and
And memberships.
memberships.
Let's leave that alone. Coffee or tea, brewed, instant, calf, decaf, homemade,
Ah,
Starbucks, latte, espresso, cappuccino, quantity,
coffee.
quality, cup or mug. What do you do?
Well, first of all, I use this.
What
This
is
is
this?
a Yeti 20-ounce tumbler. This is
Yes.
what my coffee goes to, so it stays nice and hot all morning.
How do you make the coffee?
I make my coffee in a Keurig machine.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Pot.
change flavors by the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And I use a breakfast blend for my morning one to get me going.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I have a full mug of the breakfast blend, I switch to Vanilla Nut by Don
Ooh.
Francisco. It's
Ooh.
a little bit sweeter, but it's a nice after effect from the breakfast blend.
Coffee, milk, cream, any kind of a sweetener, any kind of a lightener.
Splenda and real half and half, organic half and half.
Really, very interesting. And the Splenda doesn't bother you, the artificial flavors, components?
Well, it's probably going to kill me, but other than that, it's all right.
I can't do any artificial sweeteners because they leave a taste in my mouth for 48 hours. And I can't do diet sodas, anything with Splenda or NutraSweet or any of those. It just
Part of
leaves
me
a
or any,
leaves a taste. I can't do that. Interesting. I drink tea because I can't do caffeine anymore. And I'll take a good peppermint herbal tea bag, a Bigelow's or a Twinings, or Twinnings as some people call it, and I'll put it into water that's in a very nice ceramic mug that's in the microwave for about a minute and a half. When it just gets hot, I'll put the tea bag in, never squeeze it. Tannic acid will come out, make it bitter. And then if it's too hot, when I take it out for another 30 seconds, I'll travesty. I'll put an ice cube in it just to bring it down to, I know, sip. I told that to Rob yesterday and he was shocked. And I'll drink it. And then no sweetener, no lightener, no
All the
cream.
work that Bigelow does into making their teas, and you're putting
I
ice cubes in
well,
it.
if I have to be able to drink it, I don't want to scold myself. And then when I'm done, I leave a little bit in the bottom, and then I will add filtered water from the fridge on top of what's left of the tea bag. Put it in the fridge, leave it there overnight, and then drink it as slightly flavored peppermint water the next day, and fill it up again. And I might do it 2 or 3 times, and then I toss the tea bag out. So that's how I make
You definitely
sustainable.
get use out of your tea bags.
I certainly do. Never squeeze. And sometimes I couldn't find Earl Grey with bergamot. Would love the scent of that decaf in my store. And I was going to order it on Amazon, and you have to buy a 6 box package of it for like $40. And I said, no, I'm not going to drink that much tea. So I bought
Over
the
your lifetime, you will.
maybe, but I might change my mind on flavors. So I want 1 box at a time. So I bought the Earl Grey with full caffeine, and I think I'm okay with that. Next, movies, TV genres, preferences. I've already talked about mine a little bit. What do you like?
Favorite movie of all time, The Sting.
Ooh,
Robert Redford, Paul
Redford.
Newman, one of their early partnerships. They
Oh,
went on, of course, to do Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
yes, yes, that's a classic.
Incredible movie, quite a twist. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but very well done. And I like that era.
TV shows.
TV shows, I liked House when it was on. He
Okay,
was
I never
interesting, all
watched
the
it.
little quirks.
Okay.
And probably my favorite show lately, in addition, I like Yellowstone. Of course, it's pretty much over now. What else do I like? I like most of the Chicago's. I think
Mm-hmm.
my most of my favorite shows I've ended and gone into history. I mean, I loved West Wing,
Mm-hmm.
Sports Night,
Mm-hmm.
MASH,
Yep.
all those. But today I don't watch any of the live, people shows like Survivor or
Mm-hmm. No, reality.
Housewives of
No,
whatever.
no, 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 no,
I
no, no,
don't
no,
watch any of
no,
those.
no, no. You don't watch police procedurals then, do you? Because that was your niche.
Well, they're kind of a joke. I mean, the only one that
Okay.
ever used to be kind of realistic was Police Story when it was on.
Was that Angie Dickinson?
No, it's Police Woman.
Oh, police woman. Okay. Sorry. Goes
But
back another era.
Police Story used to actually have them lose once in a while, lose the case,
Ooh.
make a
Ooh.
mistake, all that kind of stuff. A little more realistic. But there's never really been one that I really was impressed by and went, "Wow, that's exactly right."
Interesting. I watched the French police procedurals, but the detective shows, but most of them are led by quirky women characters. That's what makes them interesting. Alice Nevers or Nevers, and a woman detective in these shows, Bob, is called an investigating juge, a judge. She's not a captain or a commissaire. She's an investigating judge. So Alice Nevers or Nevers, beautiful, interesting, and she's of course having a thing with the guy who works with her, who is a capitan. And then Candice Renoir. These shows have been on for like 15 seasons. These are not just newcomers. And Tandem, about a husband and wife team divorced, and she is the boss of the crime unit, and he's one of the detectives, and
We
who
had that
parties
show
with.
too here, Macmillan and White.
I think there was 15 seasons of Tandem. It just ended. And when you get the European version, the French shows, it's usually a year or two after they were released in Europe. So it might be copyright 2023 and you're watching it in 2025. Interesting, very interesting. Recent shows, The Diplomat with Kerry Russell. And speaking of West Wing, Allison Janney shows up. She got a supporting actress award the other night on the Golden Globes, and she was only in the last show. She plays the U.S. United States Vice President. She's very blonde and pruny and wears a gray suit. And she does a lot of critiquing of Kerry Russell's character. Like she says, get yourself together, stop looking so messy, and put on a bra, she says to her. And it's like,
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. And she got a supporting actress award for that. She was on screen, I think, about 12 minutes. Anyway, I like that. A show you might like is The Slow House, and it's a takeoff on it's called Slow Horses, and it's on Slough House, which is where the shamed detectives in London are reprimanded and remanded to a losing cadre of people under the leadership of Gary Oldman's character. He looks bad, he smells bad, he talks bad.
Now, how do you know he smells bad?
because he says so, and they say
Okay.
so in the show. It's part
Well,
of
is
his
it good
charm.
as television yet? And I haven't heard
It's
about it.
it's part of his charisma, part of his brand. And these people are actually good detectives, but they are asked to catalog forms and papers and do menial jobs, take out the trash, but they're really involved in some heavy duty crimes. And the episodes continue over a whole season, the crime they're looking for. So it's in and out and it's who's betrayed who. It's called the Slow Horses. I think you would love it. Very dark, and it's filmed dark. It's filmed very dark. Some really interesting characters. And the woman who is leading from the group in London that put them in this awful place, it's called Slough House is the name of the place where Sloughh. It's a derelict building. And there were two women who were the heads of this police unit in London who are pulling strings behind the scenes to make things happen and test the unit. And you think something terrible is happening, they orchestrated it. And you
Mm,
find out in these little Kristen Scott Thomas, I think, is one of the actresses with very short blonde hair,
yes.
and she's running. They call her the second desk. The first desk is another woman who's played by another actress, and these women are basically running the show. And it's shocking what they have and which detectives they're happy to go into a shootout and be killed. They're very happy to lose people. So Slow Horses, it's fascinating. And Gary Oldman is in a category of his own as an actor in this show. Unbelievable. Black Doves with Keira Knightley is also very good. The Agency with Michael Fassbender and a very aging white hair Richard Gere is one of the heads of the department. The Agency is in and out of
I've been watching The Agency.
Spycraft. Yeah, another episode just dropped. So those are some of my favorite new shows. And I have friends who tell me they read a lot, and I realized I'm not just reading, I'm watching books, novels come to life on the TV screen. So I'm not embarrassed to say I watch a lot of TV. It's like I'm sitting and reading a novel, but I want to see it brought to life. So there you go. There
Well,
you go.
I was with you, and there's no judgment here. It's just different ways of doing things. When I became so acutely aware of the fact that time is the only commodity you cannot buy more of, I
Hmm.
cut my viewing down to no more than 7 hours a week.
Okay.
And when that's up, I either listen to satellite radio. I like the bridge, the old rock. Or I read.
Hmm.
I still read probably 3 or 4 books a month. Atlas
Hmm.
Shrugged is my favorite book.
And yes, is that Ayn Rand?
Ayn Rand, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Ayn Rand, yes.
it always seems to apply to modern day. What happens if
Hmm.
we overtax all the producers and they just decide to leave?
Yep. Well, I love to get involved in these stories, and I find that some of the better actors, even in the French shows, are being used in different series by different producers. And there's a show called Murder in ... It's been on for about 12 seasons, and it's an hour and a half, and it takes place in beautiful settings around France. So it's a different backdrop. These are valleys and these are places you would not go as a tourist. And
Well,
so,
now careful now, because I've been to Paris 3 times. I've been a lot
okay.
of places.
Well, these are all over France. So Murder In, and very often people from the other shows show up as some of the detectives in these shows. So, oh, there's Nicholas Gobb. Oh, there's Marianne so and so. And it's like seeing family. I'm recognizing the actors and the actresses, and that makes it very like a community for me. I like that a lot. So you're seeing beautiful scenery and interesting mysteries and conundrums and how do they solve them and the details. So this is how I get into that genre is to see it, to hear it,
Well,
and to watch the translations,
I
which
have
makes
to
it,
pay homage this morning because the beach house that AC/DC grew up in was burned in the LA fire.
oh no, is this just coming through?
Yeah.
Oh, the news is terrible. I'm glad you're safe. Let's go to wacky news. This is called Say What News. So have you got something for me you want to show or just want to talk? I've got three I might want to show.
Oh, I don't have anything to show. Let's see. How about terms from the 60s?
Go ahead, give me a couple. Rock my world.
How about groovy?
Ooh, you're
Can you
groovy.
imagine using that today? People would think
People
you were nuts. They'd wonder if you
people
were a robot.
What is there is there an origin for that word? You have something that how it came about?
Well, groovy for variations, groovy or groovy is a versatile term mostly used as a synonym. A
I like
synonym.
cinnamon.
Yeah. Depending on the context, groovy could also be used to describe an incredibly fashionable piece of clothing
Ah, that's your hat. That's a groovy hat, Bob.
or an intricate and powerful melody.
There you go. Give me one more.
Far out.
Far out.
Both describe something amazing and come from the world of jazz. Far out can also mean something strange or unconventional, conveying a certain feeling of innovation or creativity.
Very
So what
interesting.
you do is far out.
There you go. Far out. Okay. I sound like a cat, a sick
I am
cat.
not recommending you use it, but yeah.
No. Far out. Okay. You got another story? I'm looking at the top of your hat because I know you're reading from reading down. So I like the
Yes,
top of
ma'am.
your hat. You got another story for us? Any more wacky news?
Oh, wacky news. How about hang loose?
Oh, okay.
I'll do one more of that. The phrase hang loose describes the most essential aspects of surfing, a laid back attitude.
Oh, that's right. Remember Hang 10? Hang 10 used to be put
Yeah.
all your 10 toes on the edge of the surfboard, right?
Yep. Comes from
Okay.
Hawaii, the birthplace of modern surfing, also known as the shaka sign.
Okay.
Gestures used to convey friendliness and understanding.
Hanging loose.
Get the hell out of here, one or the other.
Very cool. That's what happens. That's what happens to people's bodies when they get past a certain age. Hang loose. I'm sorry. Okay. You got another wacky?
I do.
Yep. What you got?
A secret dialect still spoken in California.
Where in California?
I thought that was like Valley Girl talk years ago.
Isn't it Bootling is the name of the place? Bountling,
Yeah,
Bootling? Yeah.
a tiny hamlet in Mendocino County.
Okay.
While isolated, this town has a unique claim to fame. Residents developed their own English dialect, Boontney. Settled in the mid 1800s, the remote town is sandwiched between two mountain ranges with population just over 1,000.
Oh my.
Wow, that is
Wow.
like everybody knows everybody, all right?
Got an example of the language?
Well, let's see here. An adjective for the town lingo. Oh, that's what bootling is derived from a combination of bootner and lingo.
Okay. Oh,
There are fewer than 100 speakers of bootling today. It developed over a century ago, includes 1,000 words and phrases. One of the milder ones, a bootner named Barney was known to greet everyone with a kiss, so a kiss is called a Barney.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's far out. Give me another one. Give me another example of bootling.
that's groovy.
It's see what we're doing? We're applying the articles to each other.
If I can get this out here. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Belgique,
Yes.
Beljeek, is a rabbit, specifically a black-tailed jackrabbit. This word is a combination of Belgian, as in Belgian hair, and jackrabbit.
Yes. Oh, and Belgique is how you say Belgium in French. Belgique. So Belgique is jackrabbit. Isn't that
Now,
interesting?
I thought all languages owed their origin to Latin. I'm not sure about this.
I don't think so. This is local. This is
How about
definitely local.
dulce, Doolsey,
What's
refers to
that?
any kind of candy, sweet or sugar. It's borrowed from the Spanish dulce,
Right?
which may have been indirectly borrowed from the pomone before bootling.
Fascinating. Interesting. So we could make up our own language on Cool Dude then, couldn't we?
We could.
Okay. Interesting. You got one more word for us? Or one more
One
story?
more.
One more story?
Kalopity, just because it sounds funny.
What is it?
Kalopity,
Yeah.
Kiloppety,
Yeah.
means to travel by horse-drawn vehicle. Clop,
Clap,
clop,
clap, clap. I
or
guess
on horseback,
I guess we're
meaning it
bootling.
comes from the sound of the shod hooves clapping on the ground.
I guess we're bootling now.
I know.
Are those your stories? Because I have some visuals here from CES. I want to show you some CES stuff.
Go
Okay.
for it.
You ready? All right. Let me do a
I
share
can tell
now.
you one CES story that I think is fantastic.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
NVIDIA, the computer tech company,
Mm-hmm.
announced yesterday that it has used AI to create a new chip. And you remember Moore's Law that founded the Silicon Valley?
Yep.
Humans can develop a more powerful chip and double its power once every 2 years.
Yep.
Not anymore. NVIDIA used AI to create its first AI chip, which is 1,000 times more powerful than any existing technology. So not
Hmm.
double, 1,000 times more.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm
That
going to
means you'll be
share
able to do computing on your home computer.
that much faster. Okay. People talk about AI not having feelings, not having emotion, not having empathy, not having compassion, not being sentient, emotional. Well, at CES 2025, when machines get in touch with their feelings, imagine this. You're on a customer service call, and after being on hold for a long time, you get an AI assistant. Your voice is trembling. You're about to throw the phone across the room, and the AI pauses and says, I sense you're upset. Let me connect you to a human representative right away. Sounds like a sci fi movie? Well, Affectiva is proving that emotional AI is just a futuristic concept no longer. It's here and it's making machines more, and you see the robot crying here. Emotional AI, called affective computing, is a subset of AI that enables machines to recognize, interpret, and respond to human emotions. What do you think, Bob? Its time has come?
Its time has come. I think it'll be here within 2, 3 years.
And it's interesting that I had an article recently on the show I read on Wacky News on Say What, the Say What segment, about a company in Japan that had an AI that could tell when a customer was being nasty or harsh to one of their human customer service reps, and it would signal it was time to end the call. And a voice would come on and say, sorry, this call is over, because they didn't want their reps to be abused by angry customers. And AI was part of that, sensing the verbal cues of the attitude of the speaker. I thought that was interesting.
Well,
So
I'll
here's,
tell you,
yep.
another thing that's going to be interesting, Bonnie, is a Japanese company, because you talked about Japan,
Mm-hmm.
has opened the first robotic office.
Mm.
They're small, almost like the size of a piece of luggage,
Yeah, I went back to
and
you. Go ahead.
they have special robotic alleyways, runways, special, everything's designed to accommodate the robots, charging stations, all that stuff's built in, and it's almost fully automated by robots,
Well,
and they're
is that
measuring
good?
everything and
Is
tracking
that
everything.
is that good news or is that scary news?
I think it's just the first of thousands.
TBS, to be seen. I'm going to do another one. This is another CES story. A super dark horse won hearts and wallets. At CES, AI and robotics, we know, taking center stage, but amidst the glitz and glamour of cutting edge GPUs, foldable gadgets, self driving toasters, what? One unexpected star is the Ropet, ROPET, an AI powered robot pet. Cuddly, tech savvy companion captured the imagination and made waves on Kickstarter, raised over $1 million and sold over 900 pieces. 70% of the purchases were made by women. I know, I know. It's designed to provide emotional companionship. It's a low maintenance alternative to a real pet, or I could say a real human partner. No feeding, no bathing, no poop scooping, meaning referring to dogs and cats. It's a soft, cuddly robot. I'm going to leave the picture up with a soft, cuddly robot. Let me see. With warm exterior that mimics the comforting presence of a living pet. Equipped with advanced AI, it can express emotions, hold a conversation, and adapt to the owner's personality. They say people look like their dogs. It has a camera, a microphone, a speaker, and a screen that doubles as its eyes to convey emotions. Look at the picture, Bob. It connects to Wi Fi. It can be customized, different voices, different appearances, and it lets users buy outfits and masks to personalize the buddy. That's interesting. They didn't say what the price point was. I don't think I'm going to adopt one because I already talk to my stuffed animals and I have Alexa in the kitchen, but they call it a dark horse and apparently it's extremely popular. $1 million raised on Kickstarter. Can you believe that?
I'm trying to imagine the impact on the police departments around the world when they get calls like, help, my robot pet has run away.
And I have one more. This is interesting. This is interesting. 45% of tech firms invested in AI this year. We're not surprised by that. These are the juiciest highlights, and I just highlighted three of them here. So, Samsung announced Click to Search, which allows users, get this, I love this, to identify the actors or locations on screen by clicking a button on the remote. I can't tell you how often, Bob, I watch all my shows on demand. I stop a show, I hit pause, and I go and look up. I'll find the IMDb on the actors to see where I saw that actor last or what was that scene they were in. It is enhanced to design user engagement and instant gratification. Then they have something called Live Translate, a real-time subtitle translation tool, making foreign films more accessible. It's part of the Vision AI. And then LG has the OLED TV equipped with Copilot AI Assistant, perform tasks like scheduling, reminders, and controlling other smart home devices directly from the TV. And I'm going to stop sharing at that point. Those are my wacky articles. What do you think?
I love it.
Pretty cool beans.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Shall I play the trailer? Shall I play the trailer for the show for what's going to happen in this year? Let me see if I can do this. Hold on, video file. It's going to take a second here. I'm going to hit share and I'm going to go. Is it working? Here we go. I got to go and find it now. Hold on one second. Dropbox trailers. Okay. And I'm going to the trailer for Too Saucy. And let's see if this is a movie and let's see if this is going to play. Okay, here we go. Put your seatbelt on. And I want to
Hey,
make sure you can
popcorn.
make sure.
No
Redhead in
time.
charge. What'd you think?
Pretty snazzy.
Yeah, I've done a trailer for each of my shows for Read My Lips Creativity Show, for Technology Revolution, and for the Cool Dude and Saucy Dame Show. And this is my new business, Bob. I'm offering
Speaking of
to
writing a
do
book,
trailers for families and for businesses and for entrepreneurs and for organizations, putting together pictures and statements and sayings into a cool format that's less a minute or less. And I'm going to release a couple of these. They're already on my YouTube channel. I'm going to put a couple of them on, I think, Facebook stories or Instagram reels because they're a minute or less. So there you go. I hope you like
well
that.
done.
Thank you very much. So any
Can I
closing
get an
thoughts about
autograph before you become famous?
you already have it. I'll send you a digital autograph. Do you, before I play the outro music, the audio, which we're going to do in a second, do you have any closing thoughts on being an official Bonnie D's cool dude, Bob?
Official of these cool dudes, yes. In the entire history of the world, not once has the amount of worry ever altered an outcome.
Interesting. Interesting. Is that a Bobism?
That's a Bobism.
I like that. I'm going to play the outro and we're going to smile and wave and stick around. We might take some more pictures. Thank you, Bob. It's been delightful getting to know more about you and thank you for sharing and thank you for trusting me. I think you did. And this has been really, really fun. If you know other cool dudes like the gentleman you mentioned from your cigar club, send me an introduction. I would love to branch out because I'm at 15. By next week I will have had 15 or 16 or 17 cool dudes I already know and I'd like to meet more. So here we
Well,
go.
how
Here's
many cool dudes is enough, Bonnie?
never enough. Enough is enough is enough. No more tears. Well, I want it's never enough. And by the way, this outro song, "So You Want to Be," I wrote the lyrics, and my good friend Serge Hoffman, the former SAP, just retired. He's a composer and he's also a singer. He sings it and he composed the music, so it's my song. It's an original. So here we go. Let's dance in the outro, and here we go. Oops! If I put the audio on, hold on, hold on, hold on. There we go.
Wanna be
So you want to be
a
a cool kid, cool dude,
hanging with the inset,
hanging with the inset,
looking real,
looking real. Woo!
pure and fine.
Fine.
Asking you, thanking it, you
Here comes the drum bridge. I don't have my sticks with me. Bob, 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 Bob F. Thank you so much. No lonely girls or boys here. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon on another edition of Technology Revolution, the Future of Now, coming up on January 29th. I think you're on my panel that day.
Looking
And
forward to it.
Happy New Year. So let's wave goodbye to our social.